America needs a tidal wave of the old-time religion.
I have sinned against you.
How dare you!
We have no need to doubt God.
The harlot Babylon is preparing the nations to receive the Antichrist.
I didn't even build that house with money from the church. I built it with money from my book.
I don't make this stuff up.
Repenting of your sin.
It is a moral issue.
They got together and swore a pact to the devil.
I just enjoy seeing people worship, praising God.
Hey everybody, and welcome to
Believe It
or Not,
the show where we believe it.
or I peek a little bit. There it is.
R.I. peak.
Yeah, busting
Is that
your
what you meant?
eardrums. That's what I
did
meant.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How you doing, Damien?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, pal?
Pretty
Trevor.
good. Pretty good. Can't
Trevor,
complain.
as I call you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm
complaints.
Trevor Pullman. This is Damien Depping, and we
Hello.
do a podcast.
Yeah. How about that, eh?
How about it? I've been seeing a lot lately on like TikTok and other social media.
Yeah.
How a lot of dudes, white dudes with podcasts, have some pretty shitty takes, and I'm realizing that I hope we don't have those shitty takes. I hope we don't pop up on those TikToks. But well, either way.
Well, I feel like there's definitely a group of people who definitely feel that we are white dudes with some shitty podcast takes.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I
try
might
not to be.
I might argue. Well, you know what I mean, though. Like, there's a certain group of people who would consider anything that we talk about on here
that's
to be
true.
a bad take. Is more what I mean. So we're probably on a list somewhere,
That's true. Yeah.
but not really one that I think we should be worried about
Oh, exactly.
yet. Who
Yet.
knows what's going to happen, right? I
knows?
mean, new year, new you. You know, we might change the format. You know, we might become problematic.
True.
We might hit it big if we do, right? We could be the next Joe Rogans.
Joe Rogan? I love Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we could be the Rogan twins.
The one clip that's getting a lot of coverage is this guy talking about how women don't have hobbies. Like, how many women do you know that have hobbies? And
All
they're
of
like,
them?
yeah, a lot of women don't have hobbies. And it's like, no, you just
What?
You just don't listen when they speak to you, or you dismiss. Yeah.
What do you think they do? Like with all their time? You think they just go to work and then they stand in the corner for like 4 hours? Like,
Yeah, they're like Dennis on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when nobody's around, where he just sits and stares.
I mean, I got to say that it is an underrated pastime.
Just sitting and staring.
Just zoning out, man.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. It is.
We don't give that enough credit, and I think we should. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do that right now. Give
Yeah.
it credit.
Give it credit. But the reason I bring that up too about the shitty people with shitty takes is that I figured we'd talk about a shitty guy with shitty takes.
Oh no,
Yeah. Do you know Greg Locke?
no.
Okay. I've sent you a couple of videos of him. He's the guy recently who said there was witches in his church, which we'll talk about.
Oh, that guy?
That guy.
Okay. See, a lot of the clips I see out of context, and I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't normally have like a little like lower third chiron there with like who it is or anything. So.
Exactly. And
Okay.
I always send you the rough cut too before I put the names
Right.
on. Yeah.
That's also true. So he's the one who was like, "There's 6 witches in here, and I know 4 of them."
So we'll get into that story in a bit. But he's got a pretty good record of just having awful takes. So
Really?
yeah. So
Huh.
Greg Locke is his name. He was born in Nashville, Tennessee in 1976. So just a young man.
Yeah, not an old fucking loser.
Yeah, exactly. I will till the day I die. Anybody born within 5 years of me is a young man.
All right.
He converted to evangelical Christianity in 1992. I'm not sure what he was before that, but I think he did lean a little bit for a while towards the charismatic kind of faith healing and stuff like that before. I don't know if that was before or after he converted in 92, because he wrote a book in 2005 called Blinded by Benny, which is probably the only thing him and I will ever agree on. And it's about Benny Hinn, the faith healer Benny Hinn. And it's just a book debunking Benny Hinn and saying why he's fraud and a piece of shit. Yeah. So he started off as like, oh, this is, somebody I can maybe agree with. But then that goes downhill quickly. Yeah. So he went to Bible college, started in 1998. And then he went to Ambassador Baptist College. And then he went and got a master's degree at Baptist School of New England in 2000. And both are part of the Independent Fundamentalist Baptist Church kind of organization, which is King James Version only of the Bible. And they're the very strict, like one version of the Bible only, and very science denying and, very homophobic.
Right.
Yeah.
This might be a really weird question because we haven't really delved too much into the major differences between the different, like how many different versions of the Bible are there officially? Because I know the King James Version, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but like, are there a lot of like official ones?
Yeah,
because that's the one that you hear the most.
That is the one that you hear the most. It's the first. I mean, it's not the first English translation, but it's like the first like prominent one, and it's the biggest. For a long time, it was the only English translation that people would use.
It was the only one that King James endorsed, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Fun fact about that is the character James in the Bible was just named after King James. They just replaced whatever name was in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so King James, he endorses his Bible. He puts it in all his hotels.
Yeah.
And then they just renamed a character after him.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
And it was so King James was the King James Bible was the Protestant Bible, and then there was the Catholic Bible. I shouldn't say that it was the only English Bible. It was the only Protestant English Bible. Yeah, and there's been a lot of other versions since then, but this, like, Independent Baptists, they believe that, or a lot of them believe that the King James Version of the Bible is the only one. There's a lot of different reasons. It's a lot to do with newer versions of the Bible use different old text in their translations, so they believe they use old versions of the Bible from cults and false versions of Christianity. So they think that,
but like, can't you just cross-reference that? I feel like, especially with the internet, that is such a, like, there should just be one definitive, like, not necessarily one definitive, but there should be a little more of like a consensus about this, you would think. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, then again, though, I mean, if you look at like plays or any other literature, different translations do have different merits, I suppose.
Yeah. And the one thing that a lot of them say is that a lot of the versions of the Bible remove the blood of Christ. That's the one thing they always say. They remove the sanctifying power of the blood, which isn't true.
So it's like the PG version.
Yeah.
Like the Disney version where someone will get killed, but there'll be no blood.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I'd like to look a bit more into that, those kind of differences and discrepancies.
Yeah, let's do an episode on that. And, we'll work through all that. My family always read the New International Version, which I'm sure Greg Locke hates.
Oh yeah, why?
That's one of the biggest one. Amplified? No, it wasn't Amplified. It was the new. There's a couple. I probably just cut this, but there's a couple versions that they think are the most evil out of all the translations, and New International Version is one of them.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Most evil. That's so wild that you would think that a slightly different translation of the exact same book would be evil.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I guess you could say that about any denomination, just like a slightly different practicing of the exact same bullshit are bad and wrong and evil.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like that Family Guy clip where it's like the Methodist and the Seventh-day Adventist talking, and then the Seventh-day Adventists like basically say, yeah, we believe all that stuff, but also we worship on Sunday or on Saturday, and then the Free Methodist guy just freaks out. Just like, what? But so he worked as a evangelical. He worked as an evangelist, a Baptist evangelist, for 10 years. So just going around doing speaking engagement. And then he started his own church, which was originally called
Greg's Church.
Right, it was originally called Greg's Church. It's called Global Vision Baptist Church, and then he changed it to just Global Vision Bible Church.
That kind of sounds like when Homer started his computer company.
Yeah,
wasn't it like Global Compu Megacorp or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. And that's another thing with those independent Baptist guys too. They always have Bible in the name somewhere if they don't have Baptist, because Bible believing. They always say they're the Bible believing Christians. It's like, the other guys believe the Bible too. But,
yeah, I'm pretty sure like that was the whole point about most churches is they believe the Bible. I thought anyway. But what do I know?
what do I know? This church is in Mount Juliet in Tennessee. So near his home base. He first kind of started getting attention in the news and stuff in 2016 when he had a viral video criticizing Target for their gender neutral bathrooms. And when Target said that they would that you can just use whatever bathroom you want,
right?
He freaked out. And in the video he said, "You have lost your ever-loving mind. Are you kidding me? Your political correctness has caused you to do something extraordinarily stupid." And then he's explaining that he asked an employee in the store about their policy and then just started yelling at the employee like they made that policy, which is a trend he continues. But
I mean, it's a very common trend for a lot of things, people venting their frustration at a global corporation by yelling at the minimum wage employees who have no power over anything.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
I think you worked there at the same time too, but when the very popular coffee chain, let's just say it rhymes with Bar Cucks.
Yeah.
They, when they changed their points policy and everybody was freaking out, the one guy, he starts like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." And I was like, normally I would say, "Hey, you don't, it's not up to the employee to make these decisions." But this one actually was my decision. And I campaigned for it for months for them to change the point system. So you are right to yell at me, sir.
Yeah, that's good. It's just dumb things like that. But also like, that's a whole other thing, the whole thing about gender neutral bathrooms and the reason that these people somehow think they're going to be these dens of sexual assault and things. I don't get where it comes from.
People who want to assault people in bathrooms, it's not like Bugs Bunny world where they have to pretend to be a woman to sneak into a bathroom and assault somebody. They'll find another way. They're not like...
My thing is like, if someone really wants to do that, they're not going to be like, "Oh, can't go in there. That's the women's room."
Yeah, the law says I can't go in there. And it's like, oh, law changed. They can put this wig on. Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. For
it's
some
so
reason,
strange.
Most of those people don't care about the law.
Yeah.
So he's an idiot and he's a bigot, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is a big point about that we're not addressing, is that it's also just a lot of transphobia and homophobia too, kind of rolled into it, right? It's just vilifying a group of people that you know nothing about and just want to make look like horrible, awful predators when they're not.
Yeah,
so
like nobody's that passionate about where somebody poops. It's all.
Well, I am.
That's true.
I am very passionate that if you're going to do it, please do it in a toilet or some other kind of bucket that you can then get rid of it cleanly and
That's
safely.
True.
That's all I ask. But, I might be a bit of a weird guy for saying that. So sorry.
Hey, you know what? No, I respect that opinion on where people poop. That I can get. Behind.
I mean, if you're in the middle of the forest and you don't have that, sure, do it wherever you need to.
One time, my family was visiting Toronto and they were staying at a hotel downtown, and we were like, "Oh, let's get some food." And I was like, "Well, we'll cut through the path. It'll be easier," because it was kind of cold that night. And so the path is like for the listeners is like an underground system with like stores and stuff in it. And so we're like, okay, great idea. And then we start walking through there, and then just like we turn around a corner and there's just somebody shitting in a bucket. Like, oh, maybe we don't take the path.
Welcome to big city living.
Yeah, exactly.
You're probably going to see at least one person poop in your time here.
Yeah, exactly. And then shortly after that, in 2017, he was speaking at some rallies, some pro-life rallies against Planned Parenthood, and went on a bunch of tirades against Planned Parenthood. So somebody, I don't know who, but they're very smart, got the idea to get people to donate money to Planned Parenthood in Locke's name and get them to send the thank you letters to his church.
That's a pretty good grift.
And he got really mad. There was over 1,000 individual donations made in his name, and he actually took it and drove it to like Washington to the Planned Parenthood like headquarters. And was it Washington? Well, wherever it is, he went in and dropped them off and said no, thank you. Like they still got the money. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, no
there.
kidding.
Yeah.
I find it so fun because you gotta imagine he's probably got at least one or two illegitimate children somewhere.
Yeah.
Or has pressured someone into not having one of them.
Yeah.
But these are going to be the most vocal people against something like Planned Parenthood.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of his kids.
Uh-oh.
2018, he dropped his wife and 4 children off at a bus station and said he didn't like them anymore, basically, and you're out of my life.
Seriously?
Yeah, so he was married for 21 years, and of course, she comes forward and says he's always been verbally abusive and sometimes physically abusive, and he's called her a selfish bitch many times, and would comment on her weight and make her feel bad about her weight, and then she said, I think he's sleeping with the church secretary, which was also her best friend. A couple months later, he married the church secretary.
Wow. Some friend.
Yeah.
Some husband.
Some husband, yeah.
Hey, jeez.
After it happened, he said, I still preach against divorce. I'm in a series right now on Ephesians. I'm encroaching on chapter 5. You know I'm going to have to preach about marriage. Husbands, love your wives, and Christ loves the church. That's difficult balance right now, but I'm going to have to learn to be a way better husband than I was the first go-around, he said about his new marriage.
What?
Yeah, and he also, everybody was calling, a bunch of people were calling him for him to step down from his church, and he said he put out this video called "Stepping Down," where he's like, "I'm stepping down for the way the leftist media treats me," and just went on
Excuse
this
me?
stupid rant about how his wife was lying and she was mentally ill, which later it seems like he says that mental illness is a demon, so we'll get to that in a bit. But so if that's the case, then why don't you just cast the demon out? But I don't know.
Right. Well, even like for whatever reason she was mental health issues, lying or whatever, the evidence is still there that you dumped your family and then married her best friend and your secretary a few months later. So regardless of what the fact is, there was some shit going on there, just proved by what you've done. But then the other thing too is it comes back to the do as I say, not as I do kind of method of ruling. Like they're only rules and laws for the common people, not me. I'm the one who's giving this stuff away for you guys to learn. I don't have to follow those though.
Oh, 100%. And that's the thing too, is like if he's saying, oh yeah, it was mental illness, she was crazy or whatever, is kind of his way to express it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't your vows say in sickness and in health? And should you help her get through that mental illness, not just like use that as an excuse to bang the secretary? Like
totally. Or stop being such a prick and let people get divorced when they're not in happy, healthy relationships that they aren't willing to put the work into. Exactly. Yeah. Like, I don't see what the big fucking deal is. Yeah. I mean, you're going to do it anyway, but you're going to do it in a much more horrible way. So why not just like kind of bank on being like, oh, maybe we should all just be mature adults about this kind of stuff instead of being secretive little manipulative assholes.
Yeah. He's a pretty big COVID denier.
I was not going to call that, but then you said it and I'm like, okay, I guess maybe that does make sense. So
yeah, well, he thinks COVID exists, but it's not a pandemic, and he's against masks and he's against vaccines. He once said that eventually they will drop the S in mask and add an R, meaning it would be the mark of the beast from Revelations.
How does that relate in any way?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a month after like lockdown started in March of 2020, is when he posted on his website that he wants that revival is here, and he's calling on all Americans to open the churches. So immediately open up them churches.
It always comes back to the thing that always kind of confuses me about these kind of things. I mean, I understand why the churches want people to come back, because that's where they're getting their revenue streams from, right? You have the people come in the door, that way the money's flowing. It's the same thing why all these big corporations, they're like, we got to get you back. No more work from home. We're getting you back in office, because they want to make all their real estate be worth something. Otherwise, they're taking a huge hit. Yeah. But it's also like, isn't God everywhere? Can't you do this at home? Like, of all the times to do it, now's the time. Just stay home and pray.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Do you think God really cares where you are when you're praying to him? Like,
yeah, like God's up there. Like, are you in a church now?
Is there something in the Bible that says you have to be in a church? Is there like a definitive law that says, like, if you're not here every Sunday, you're going to hell? Like what's the deal with that?
Like, quite the opposite with prayer too. It's like, you're not supposed to pray in public according to Jesus in the Bible. Like, you're supposed to pray in secret because you don't want to try to look holier than your neighbor. So it's like the opposite. Yeah, and how we talked about how he yelled at that one employee. Well, he did it again at Dunkin' Donuts when they told him to wear a mask. And then he immediately made a video calling the kid a Nazi Skippy when he was asked to wear a face mask.
Nazi Skippy?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said, I was doing everything I could spiritually not to come over the counter and still be a pastor in public, because I'm sure there was cameras everywhere because people recognize me all over the place. There's a little pride there. And then he said that the employee accused him of trying to break the glass when he left because he kicked the door. He's like, no, I was just kicking it open. So he's got a temper.
I mean, that's a good point about the pride thing. I mean, from my experience with this, a lot of these people seem very prideful about their beliefs and about these things that they think are superiority over other people, right? So
yeah, and to be like, just casually say, yeah, well, everybody recognizes me, I'm Greg Locke. It's like, yeah. Cool.
I do, honestly, I've seen clips of him. I don't know what he looks like.
Yeah. Picture a douchebag.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You got him.
Cool.
Yeah.
Would I be able to pick this douchebag out of a lineup? Probably not.
Yeah. And he said he was going to go back there later that night without a mask again. After that, Dunkin' Donuts changed their policy for all stores that customers had to wear masks, because before that it was like up to the individual store. So then after that, they're like, no, we're standing with our employee, and everybody. Good. Like, yeah,
nice to see Dunkin's got their priorities straight.
I'm sure it's been lifted now, but
at this point, yeah, no doubt. Yeah. They'll be lifted here in Ontario very soon.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks. I probably will continue to wear my mask.
I probably will as well.
Till we don't have 1,000 new cases a day. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing they're saying. Isn't there another variant that they say is kind of on the rise lately?
Yeah.
So who knows? I'd rather just. It's not. I'm not oppressed.
Yeah.
I'm not really inconvenienced.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big deal.
No. And after the vaccine came out and people were getting, like, famous people were getting the vaccine, he said that they were getting fake vaccines, and that the real vaccine was the sheep shot, and that Anthony Fauci is a lying genocidal psychopath.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're lying genocidal religion.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the followers are referred to as literal sheep, are they not?
And, okay. They're the sheep. Christ is the shepherd. Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to clarify that. Because I was a little confused who he was talking about for a second there.
And he said that, the vaccines will cause way more deaths than COVID ever did. It's like, do you know how many deaths COVID caused?
Holy shit.
Give me a break.
But these are also the people who will say stuff like COVID didn't kill anybody. They had underlying conditions. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
Assholes.
I had that with when my friend died from swine flu. And I had one relative who was like swearing that swine flu wasn't a real thing. And then when I said my friend died from swine flu, they're like, no, didn't you say he died from pneumonia? Well, yeah, caused by having swine flu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yep.
July of last year, when Delta variant came out, he said, I don't believe in any of this Delta variant nonsense. If they go through with round 2 and you start showing up with all these masks and all this nonsense, I'll ask you to leave. Yeah, they'll be serving Frosties in hell before we shut this place down.
What the fuck?
And so another thing, too, to note is that they ended up buying a big circus tent because they're a circus, but also
a bunch of clowns. Yeah,
because they're a bunch of clowns, but also because they have so many new members now since COVID started. So many people switching over to their church because they're buying into his. So he's just going to keep going, right? Like he's,
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a base for this. I mean, we've seen it in many facets of life over the last 5 or 6 years, especially. It's emboldened the stupid and the ignorant and people who think that they are, superior and right, and all they're doing is just very damaging, hate-filled things. Like, come on.
Yeah. And and that's, he continues to do that. He continues to shoot that shit about COVID.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big Trump supporter.
I'm not surprised by that. Yeah. He was, though. Are you saying he's not anymore?
He's not anymore. After Trump lost the election, he said Biden will never be president, that Trump will remain president. And then he spoke at the night before the January 6th rally and called everybody in that group an army and to get ready to fight. He was tweeting throughout the whole thing about fighting. And then afterwards, of course, he said, oh no, that was Antifa that was in there that invaded the Capitol. That wasn't us. But
what?
Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, all of these people should be in jail. All these people should be like,
it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And then even after Trump was out and Biden was in, he still kept saying that Trump was going to come back. And but then
that's not how elections work.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what works like that? Dictatorships, authoritarian regimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on.
Yeah, in August he had Roger Stone as a guest speaker at his church, like the Trump guy who has a tattoo of Nixon on his back. And then,
that's the lamest thing I've heard all day.
I know. Have you seen this guy, Roger Stone?
I might have.
He's
I can't
the best.
remember.
He wears a top hat. He should be in jail, but Trump pardoned him. He's just a garbage man. And he also got really QAnon with a lot of his beliefs. Never preached specifically QAnon, but said that Biden was a sex trafficking, demon possessed mongrel, and that Kamala Harris, he called her a Jezebel demon. But he said that Pope Francis, Oprah, and Tom Hanks were pedophiles.
I could believe maybe 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, I know that Oprah has promoted a lot of sex offenders on her
I'm
show.
not a fan of Oprah.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of popes.
Nope.
Tom Hanks, he's cool.
Tom Hanks seems like a good guy. And then, in January is when Greg Locke said that President Donald Trump is going to lose his voter base because he got the vaccine. He was lied to and he knows it, and his arrogance won't let him change his mind. I'm telling you right now, on the authority of the Bible, if Donald Trump does not get out in front of this vaccine nonsense, he is going to lose his voter base in the next coming election. He should not run. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't think Donald Trump should run in 2024. I know it's controversial.
I don't think he should run because of who he is, but he's also really fucking old too.
Mhm.
Like, why does everyone who becomes president have to be like a 90-year-old white guy? Like, come on.
So you know those tornadoes in December throughout Tennessee and stuff. One of them destroyed their tent, and
no,
yeah, which
Not
was a
their
really
tent.
expensive tent. That's a huge, that's a lot of money. But I always find that funny when an act of God destroys one of these tents of people that think that acts of God are punishment for sins and stuff.
No, because then they see it as testing them.
Yep.
It's not punishment when they're the just ones. For them, it's a test. It's different.
Yeah. So Greg's had a busy month, a busy couple months, a busy
Sounds
2022,
like
I guess. Because in
Greg.
January he said that OCD, autism are demonic, and they need to be removed by prayer and casting out of demons.
Don't think that's gonna help.
No, I do not think so.
Okay.
Yeah, he said, "Don't get mad at me. Sorry, don't get mad at me. I'm talking. We say things like this. Well, I got OCD. You know why you do things that you do are out of the ordinary over and over and over again? It ticks you off. It's not done because you have a spirit of oppression. That's why you got OCD." And then he went on to talk about autism, and people do oversay that they have OCD. I will say that. I don't think it's a demon possession, but I think people too often say they have OCD when they're just organized. But
oh no, for sure.
Parents refuse to deal with it. Are you telling me my kid is possessed? No, I'm telling you your kid could be demonized and attacked, but your doctor calls it autism. So it's not a possession.
Demonized and
demonized attack. Yeah.
A demonized attack, not demonized and attacked.
Yeah, demonized and attacked. Yeah. But so basically, oh no, your kid's not possessed, but there's still demons attacking them. So it's like a different thing, but it's still, that's not what
Isn't that essentially what a possession is though?
Basically, yeah.
That's okay. All right, sure. Whatever, man.
And then in February, he had a book burning in response to all the bannings of books and that's going on right now throughout the States and that mouse book and stuff.
Which is so stupid.
Yeah.
So fucking stupid.
Have
you read Mouse?
No, I've seen images from it and stuff like that. And it's
very good. It's very good.
Yeah.
And it's not some salacious, crazy thing. It's just a story about people surviving the Holocaust. It's why would you ban this?
And these are all the people comparing COVID stuff to the Holocaust. God, yeah. And it's and now you want to ban a book about the Holocaust?
Yeah. Because all that's going to do is point out how wrong they are, right? Yeah. If people know what actual oppression and genocide and these things are, then they're not going to think that their slight inconveniences are these things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Keep them stupid.
It is really stupid. My favorite thing I've seen with the book burning stuff recently too is these guys on TikTok who go around asking these people protesting yeah, did you hear about that one book where the two daughters got their father drunk and then ended up having sex with him so that they could get pregnant? And they're oh, that is terrible. That is awful. That is pornography. And he's like, so they should ban that book? Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the Bible.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
Got him.
But he said, he asked his people to bring in all their Harry Potter books, their Twilight books, their Ouija boards, tarot cards, and anything that has to do with the Freemasons.
What?
Yeah, because that's... And why would his congregation have Ouija boards, tarot cards, or anything? Maybe Freemason stuff, but you would have to bring your Freemason Bible, but would they want to burn a Freemason Bible?
What kind of Freemason stuff? Exactly.
I don't know. Anything with the symbol on it. So maybe if their grandfather was a Mason, they have to bring in
all right, I guess.
Yeah.
What's his beef with the Freemasons?
Oh yeah, a lot of evangelicals think that it's a cult and that it's this secret society that's trying to control the world.
Yeah. It isn't?
No.
Oh.
I mean, maybe they're trying, but they're not doing very well.
Maybe that's what they want us to think.
Maybe. Somebody said too that he asked them to bring their crystals, like their
healing crystals.
Healing crystals, that's the word. But it's like, that's not going to burn.
I guess you could smash them.
I guess so.
Right.
He said, I ain't messing with witches no more. I ain't messing with witchcraft. I ain't messing with demons. I'll call all of them out in the name of Jesus Christ.
Wait, he was messing with them before? Is that what...
I guess so. I remember years ago too, an atheist sent him one of their books that they wrote with like a special message to him. And he did a live stream of him burning that book, starting with like the message that the guy wrote to him. And then, of course, what we talked about before with the 6 witches. So basically, he said he was casting a demon out of a woman, and then the demon told him that there was 6 demons in his church. You so much as cough wrong, and I'll expose you in front of everyone under this tent. You stinking spell-casting, pharmakeia, devil-worshipping mongrel. He loves that word, mongrel. You were sent to destroy this church. And he says that there's 2 of them in his wife's Bible study, and then 4 other ones in the church, and a couple of them were there that day. I heard somebody say, and this is just their guess, but there's probably some more rumors about his activities going on in the church, and there's a couple people who know about it. And if he gets ahead of it by saying that there's witches that are trying to spread rumors, then he can get ahead of the actual rumors.
That's fair.
That's just speculation.
Trying to give himself like some plausible deniability.
Yeah.
I say plausible very, very loosely, because if your plausible deniability is witches,
yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. What?
So pharmakeia is one word he used there.
Pharmakeia
is an old word, like about demons or something. And the reason it's gotten popularity again recently is with these anti-vaxxers saying that pharmacy and pharmaceutical companies are created by these demons and trying to get you. It's like,
I mean, to a certain degree, yeah, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, they do awful things. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but not. They're not demonic.
Yeah, exactly, because that's not a thing. Yeah, no. And since then, they've been getting a lot of gifts as well. Glitter bombs, gifts from witches, glitter bombs, pentagrams, crystals, postcards from the Church of Satan, pornographic materials. A lot of stuff to send to the church. Sex toys. They get a lot of sex toys sent to them in the mail.
Those are expensive too.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe they're used.
Maybe it's true.
But that's Global Vision Bible Church in Mount Juliet in Tennessee. If anybody did want to send them any gifts, I don't have.
We'll have the mailing address in the episode notes. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll put them in the notes. So basically, Greg Lott's a piece of shit. Any other thoughts on piece of shit Greg Lott?
I mean, it's funny because we talk about these people and it's just like a dime a dozen, right? Like every one of them, it's the same bullshit, the same package, just a slightly different coat of paint. I don't know. It's just it's depressing how many people follow these people.
And he's probably worth millions. Like he's probably.
Oh, I know.
Oh, that's the thing too. When I was looking up the Target video, his books are selling at Target. Really? So much for his boycott. He's now in business with them.
Why would he boycott it when he can be making money there?
That's true. Yeah.
These people don't have morals. They don't care.
No, they don't care. They don't care at all. If you're willing to just leave your 4 kids and your wife at a bus stop and say you're not interested anymore, then maybe you don't.
Well, I don't know his wife and kids. They could be really bad. So
it's true.
They might just be a bunch of real wieners. So maybe he was right to leave them.
They probably just went to Target.
True.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, seeing that we talked about shitty people, let's talk about some not shitty people, some incredible people. Let's talk about our patrons.
Oh my God! Wow! Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to our very quick Bible study.
Yes, it's a drive-through weekend edition.
Exactly. We all
trying to get you back to your comfy beds.
You can tuck yourself in. And drink some Mike's Hard Lemonade.
That's right, Mike's Hard Lemonade. You can drink some. What is that? ZzzQuil, help you get back to sleep. Take a little melatonin. Go back down for an afternoon nap.
Exactly. But not that we approve of any of that, because this is our Bible study. But if you want it.
True. I'm saying afterwards. That's why we're getting them out of here nice and quick. I guess if I really wanted to be quick, I would have stopped stalling right now and gotten to the point. But all that aside, amen.
Amen. And I just want to say a quick thank you for Janelle for being with us and for joining the old Patreon Bible study party.
Yep, and I actually have a quick prayer request for our friend Michael this week. And now Michael is a very talented computer whiz. But Michael, I just want to say, please stop pranking me by putting weird robot vocals on my audio when we're recording the podcast.
Right.
It's becoming very disruptive. And even though I do sound like a cool Daft Punk robot, I don't know if... everybody at home appreciates listening to a robot tell them about things. Amen.
Thank you, everybody. And now we're going to go on to a Christian rock lyric.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Can't you see you're not making Christianity better? You're just making rock and roll worse.
So this week, I have a song, I guess, in quotes. It's not from a famous singer. It's not from a popular Christian rock band.
It's not one of your songs, is it, Trev?
It's not one of my songs. I can't find them. I cannot find the lyrics to my old Screamo songs. But when I do, you guys will hear them, or our patrons will hear them.
I'm sure we could probably find someone to record them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too, is I might have a recording of them, but I could never make it with the lyrics. But I'll find it. If I can find it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
So in 2017, there were some new legislation on the table in Alberta, Canada, and for being more inclusive for bathrooms. And a lot of people, including way too many of my Facebook friends who I had to unfriend, were very upset that they would dare be inclusive. And they really cared, again, about where people poop. Yeah. So this mom
where they
decided
poop, where they fuck, how they poop, all these things.
They care so much. So this lady named of M.H. Weeb, she's just a mom, and she decides, you know what, I'm not just a mom, I'm a rapper now. And so she wrote this rap song that's really bad.
Shut up, really?
Yeah. And so there's a mirror copy on YouTube. She has since taken it down. And I couldn't find all the lyrics, and I wasn't going to sit down and type them out. So I just found a couple sites that had some quotes from it. So I'll just read you some lyrics. These aren't in order by any means. What's the fuss over transgender washrooms we discuss? Is this really, really such the issue? To focus and put our taxes to? You're not putting your taxes to, you're just letting people poop. No, this is not the issue. To legislate or to pursue or to peruse. This is just a fender bender all over sex and gender. Can we pick up another issue than to change our bathrooms for a few? Listen what I say. The animal kingdom is smarter this way. If we can't address male and female, we've lost our purpose in life. We fail. If our children lose their identity, this will be sad for our future, you see. Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of a lot of things where I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, no. But I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, no.
No.
Where it's the point she's making is the right point to almost, and then it's the exact opposite of what it should be. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the kids are losing their identity. And I'm like, yes. But it's just like by not having the properly gendered bathrooms. They're like, no. Or it's like, this is a fender bender over gender. I'm like, I mean, kind of. You're making a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be. And then it's just like, but we shouldn't. Nature knows that it's male and female bathrooms. And I'm like, no. So I kept it was a real roller coaster.
My favorite is the one line that says, I'm concerned. Oh, actually, I'll do this whole part. My heart goes out to the fatherless and abused. And I guess that's why we have some confused. I am a concerned mother of 3. Keep male and female washrooms where our children can pee.
Do you have male and female washrooms at home?
No. I have a cat washroom and I have a human one.
Which one do you usually use?
I usually use the human one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever used the litter box?
I haven't. And the thing is, I don't go in there when Jagger's in there, but every time I'm in the bathroom, Jagger's got to be in there with me, looking up at me. Yeah.
That's not fair.
No. But
I guess you do root through his bathroom later, though, so.
That's true. That's
only fair.
Yeah, I should probably do that tonight. But well, thank you, everybody. I was going to do that classic Trevor just walks away.
Goodbye.
But thank you, everybody, for listening to us talk about this awful, awful man. And I hope you have not awful people in your life.
Yeah, have
That's
good
my wish for
people.
you. Yeah.
People who like you.
Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody, I just want to jump in here quickly before we actually say our goodbyes, because after we recorded this episode, I discovered that Greg Locke had a rap song that he sang at his church, and I can't not include that. So I didn't have it before we did the Christian rock lyric, but how do I not have that? So I'm just going to put it here at the end.
If I had $1 million, let me tell you where it go. I would give it all to Jesus so that he may use it so. But since I am a pauper and I have no gold to spend, I'm gonna give my life to Jesus Christ until my journey's end. I was once in bondage, my life was full of sin, until that wonderful night when my Savior came in. He came within me and gave me a new start. He took me from the miry clay and gave me a new heart. I'm the leader of the pack, but my sheep call me pastor. Walking in the steps of my Lord and my master. Life's too short to be playing with games. I'm gonna get busy finding me some names of the people that need some real teaching. Open up my Bible, do some full tilt preaching. Jesus gave a clear command directed right at you, but in your busy schedule you have failed to follow through. The world is on its way to hell, but do we even care? Instead of speaking gospel, we just always stop and stare. It's time to get a burden for people and their fears, but you only cry at movies and for souls you shed no tears. So let's get busy, let's make the right decision, and walk up out this place with a big global vision.
Work, Sky Moon.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.
Sonar!